how to get $2,200 a month in rent while only going into your pocket for about $25,000 cash. That's today's show. Let's dive in. All right, real estate investors, we have a pretty awesome show for you today. I am pretty excited about both of these properties. They are both extremely unique investment opportunities. Before I get to the properties though, a few things I wanted to take care of, wanted to address. On my Instagram page, I ran a couple Caption This photos. I put out some cool photos, and I asked all you guys to comment, best caption. I said the best caption was going to get a shout out on the show. The first picture that I did this with, this was a picture that I got from a colleague of mine out here in Cleveland, a lender named Ken. It was just pretty wild, man. This door. This is a real property. This is out in Cleveland. So that door was installed. That's something he saw. He took a picture. The comments were great. I loved them all. I put this on Instagram. I also put it on BiggerPockets. The winner, my most favorite comment from the internet on BiggerPockets, a guy by the name of Jim K. He said, "With 2 doors to go through before the cops get to us, we'll have plenty of time to flush the stash." I love that one. And then on Instagram, my favorite comment that we had was from Property by MCB. "I'm real handy dude. If you need any help around the house, I can take care of it, no problem." That one is pretty hilarious to me, considering one of the major red flags when you're renting out properties is a tenant who tells you that they have no problem fixing up things around the house. You never want to rent to a tenant who's telling you this, because that means, hey, they think your house sucks, but they're willing to live there anyway. They're only willing to live there, most likely because they want money off, they got nowhere else to go, and they're probably not that handy. So never let tenants do work on your houses, and any tenant who's telling you they want to offer you your services, you want to eliminate that tenant from your consideration when filling that property. And then the most recent post, just posted this a few days ago. This is from one of our rental properties, one of my maintenance guys. They took this picture after the tenants had moved out. As you can see, that is probably the most disgusting vent you've ever seen. My favorite comment, a lot of good ones on Instagram. My favorite comment came from Gracie Hudzik. "Can you turn up the heat?" Because you know right there, that's a tenant who's calling you, telling you, "Hey, I got problems. My furnace doesn't work. It's not getting hot enough." A couple other comments I dug, some honorable mentions here. eSharp84, "When your dad doesn't let you touch the thermostat." And Patrick, "When can I expect my security deposit back?" I want to thank all those folks and then everyone else who commented on those posts. For those of you that watch this channel, are fans of the channel but don't follow me on Instagram, do so now. We pump out a ton of videos, but I am on that Instagram page pretty much all throughout the day interacting with you guys. So if you want to get in contact with me really quickly, or you want more content from me, more Tenants from Hell content, my Instagram page is a great thing to follow because we're able to quickly post stuff, as soon as it happens. So a lot of the things we're doing here on the YouTube channel, you're able to get the sneak peeks of what's going on with us here at Holton Wise, all the Tenants from Hell stuff, by following my Instagram page. The Tenants from Hell show is pretty exciting. That's probably one of my favorite shows we run on the channel. What we have on that show coming up, we've been going back and forth scheduling with the guy who put out that video. You may have already seen it. A few property managers were in a property in Philly, and this property was actually booby-trapped. This is like something out of Home Alone, but much more devious. They had installed like this knife thing that when you walk up the steps, you trip a wire, like an Indiana Jones kind of wire. And this potentially could kill someone. So he had posted that on the internet, and that video went totally viral. So my team, we've been talking to him back and forth. We're trying to coordinate a time for him to come on the show so we can bring you guys the behind the scenes of that, you know, what he was doing when he found it, what things have been like since he went totally viral. So that's some of the latest stuff that we got going on here at Holton Wise. Now, let's get into these properties. Let's get into the reason you clicked on this video. I got two properties for you today, and I love both of these. The first one is an awesome deal. You guys have seen a ton of inventory out there, a lot of inventory from me in the suburb Garfield Heights. Typically what you can expect from Garfield Heights housing stock is going to be, you know, a 3 or 4 bedroom house built in the early 1920s. But what I have for you today is something totally different. This is something built in the 50s, which has only had one owner since that time, the original owner, the person who built that house. So let's quickly go to a commercial break, and then we'll dive into the details on that property because you don't want to miss that one. That is one of the most unique houses in Garfield Heights.
Selling some of your smaller real estate holdings is a great way to raise the funds necessary to maximize the growth of your real estate portfolio. A 1031 exchange can benefit you greatly by allowing you to defer your capital gains tax so you can use those funds towards the purchase of more real estate instead. You are going to need a qualified intermediary in your corner. Dave Foster is a degreed accountant with a track record of successfully serving as a qualified intermediary for thousands of clients. Dave and his team would love the opportunity to see if a 1031 exchange is right for you. To set up a free consultation with Dave and his team, call 850-889-1031 or visit the1031investor.com.
12500 Upper Sunset Drive, Garfield Heights. I have priced this house. This is a little old lady house, guys, a little granny house. I have priced this thing at $49,900. As you see from the fact sheet on the screen there, we got 3 beds, 2 baths. This house is totally vacant, okay? This is a totally unique opportunity. As I said, one of the most unique houses in Garfield Heights. Unlike any other house that you're going to see in Garfield Heights. Most of that stock, you know, built in the early 20s. This was built in 1956. If you're seeing the drone footage on the screen, this is like its own little development almost, right? The rest of the city was built, you know, in the 20s, and then in the 50s, you know, they built this little tiny development. And as you see, these homes are just much nicer, much more high-end than what you're used to seeing in Garfield. It's kind of its own little secluded community. Now, the owner of this home, this is an estate sale. The woman who built this home, she had actually built it in 1956, and she has lived there ever since. I'm actually selling the home for her estate. One of the members, you know, her 2 sons, right, they inherited the house, and one of them, he's a real estate investor, so I've sold several properties for him. So that's how we ended up with this property here on the channel. So one owner, the original owner, she's the only person, you know, has ever owned this home. And, you know, this real estate investor who I happen to sell several other properties for, you know, him and his brother, you know, they grew up in this house. So super, super nice house, guys. Priced it at $49,900. As you'll see from the interior footage, though, it looks like we've got an original owner here, right? Everything, it's outdated. So we got to do a bunch of cosmetic fixes on this property. But once we get this house cosmetically fixed up, this thing is going to rent for a ton of money. You know, the market rent and a very conservative estimate, I'm saying $1,100. I have rented in Garfield Heights. The most I've ever rented a single family house for in Garfield Heights was $1,150. And this house has the potential to be a lot nicer than that house. So if you were to go with some premium upgrades, I would imagine we can probably pretty easily get that rent up to $1,200. Like, there's just things that this house has that other houses in Garfield Heights don't have. Like this deck, for instance, in the backyard here. Very rare. Are you ever going to see a deck this big? Over in the front yard, we got a turnaround driveway. I mean, how many rental properties have you seen on my channel where there's a turnaround driveway? You know, that stuff's unheard of. So I put $1,100, but, you know, honestly, with some really nice premium upgrades, you could probably get that up to about $1,200 bucks. Now, it's got a POS, you know, it's an estate. you have to assume the POS, but the POS is pretty minor. I got it up on the screen here. You know, repair, restore the front porch floor, you know, simple minor stuff, pressure wash the house, scrape and paint. You know, a lot of this is stuff that we are going to have to do with the renovation anyway. I would anticipate to clear off the POS and to get this property in tip-top shape, ready to rent, ready for tenants, to get you at a minimum $1,100 in rent. We're going to be in the ballpark of $20,000 to $25,000, depending on what type of premium upgrades that you want to do. If you want to go with the low end on a budget reno, you know, we could probably get this done for closer to that $20,000 number. But if you want to get those premium upgrades, which I recommend you do on a house this nice, you're going to be up in the $25,000 range, right? So all in, we're probably going to be all into this property for $75,000. But again, this is a one-of-a-kind property, incredibly nice. You're going to get, you know, the pick of the litter, so to speak, when we're talking about tenants. You're going to get high-quality tenants that want to live in this property. So what you're going to get with this property, you're going to get lower turnover costs, lower vacancy costs. You're going to be at a much lower risk for non-payment of rent because your tenants, you know, this is going to attract literally the best quality people in the area because it's one of the best houses in the city. So you're not going to really have to worry about evictions too often. So it's just going to be a very smooth ownership experience for you. So I really dig this property. Another thing too that I like about this house, you know, it's about 30 years newer than the majority of the housing stock in that city. So what you're going to get lower capital expenditures. You know, your original plumbing, you know, your main stack that's going from the home to the street. It's about 35 years newer than all the other main stacks in the area. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, this is just a really good long-term ownership project for you. As far as you actually making the purchase, you know, this is something you don't have to utilize cash. You definitely want to leverage those funds. So if you were to pick it up at $50,000, you're looking at only spending out of your pocket $12,500. Then if you want, you could fund the rehab with cash, another $25K. Or if you really want to, you could just pick the whole thing up cash, fund the renovation with cash, and then you'll be all into the deal for a total of $75,000. Then you can go ahead and refi all your money out, just assuming that it appraised for $75,000, just because I like to give you guys super conservative appraisal numbers when I do these. But honestly, I don't see why it wouldn't appraise for a lot more, but I don't want you to quote me on that. So let's just assume it appraised for what you have into it, the $75,000. By the time you pulled all your money back out, you're only into the deal for $19,000 cash, and you're getting $1,100-1,200 in rent. And if it did appraise for a much higher amount, like about $100,000, you know, this right here is a home run BRRRR deal. So this property, tons of potential. Quickly, let's go to another commercial break, and then we're going to get into the other property that I've got for you today. That one already features a tenant living there, and that has already had an extremely high-end renovation done to it.
If you would like Holton Wise to sell a property you already own in a video just like this one, send an email to sales@holtonwise.com. Make sure you're subscribed to our investor mailing list. We are going to send you an email with the latest investment properties for sale every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can expect a full video offering just like what you've seen today in every one of these emails.
3138 West 101st, Cleveland, Ohio. Now, I have priced this sucker at $59,900, and it's currently got a private landlord renting this to a tenant at $950 a month. But this one is a steal, guys. Now, look at the living room here, right? Look at this area. You know, this is what a nice high-end, you know, house is supposed to look like. This is what tenants really want. Now, this current landlord, they're renting this for $950. You know, we regularly rent 3-bedroom homes that aren't even this nice in the $950 range. This one is actually a 4-bedroom home. So, you know, with what we have here, I think the market rent for this property is actually higher than $950. I think we're about $1,100 Cruising over here to the kitchen though, like I think they did an amazing job making this home look super, super high end. The only thing that lets me down slightly would be this kitchen. And I think this is a nice kitchen, don't get me wrong, but I think the rest of the home is a little bit nicer than the kitchen. So if we're really trying to max out that rent, perhaps when this particular tenant moves out, we just upgrade a little bit of the fixtures here in this kitchen, and then we'll be able to easily get new tenants into this property paying $1,100. Or, you know, we could keep it just like it is and probably still hit that $1,000 threshold. But with doing the premium upgrades and getting an extremely nice kitchen to match the rest of the home, which is incredibly nice. Same thing with the little old lady house from earlier in the show. You're going to essentially, you know, get all the leverage, all the power to pick and choose the very best tenants, which I think is always the best move for investors because, you know, turnovers, that's our return killer, guys. Turnovers are what kill us. People moving in and out, then you got to pay me to renovate your home. You got to pay my team leasing fees, all that jazz. If you have a house that's just considerably nicer than the rest of the homes in the neighborhood, nobody's going to want to move out of your home. And, you know, that's when you make the big money in rental real estate. When you get properties like this, you do them right from the jump, and then your tenants stay 5, 6, 7, 8 years without vacancies, without turnovers, without evictions, right? If you're constantly putting the least amount of money into your properties possible, you know, having rough-looking units, that's when people are, you know, moving out, when better opportunities come their way. So with this one, I think you just continue riding it out with the current tenant, because that rent by no means is super low for the price point you're getting the home. But know that we got, you know, extreme upside on the other end of this property. And this is another great one. Use OPM. You know, leverage your funds. Everything's done for you. Don't buy this thing cash. You don't need to buy this thing cash. Come in, use a loan, right? Use a bank loan. You're only going to need to put down $15,000, and then you got yourself a beautiful renovated 4-bedroom house that's renting for $950 a month with the potential to rent for over $1,100. So this one, just another awesome deal. It's in Cleveland proper, so we don't have any point of sales we need to worry about or anything of that nature. So both of these, great homes. I think both of them would be great additions to any passive investor's portfolio. So if you want to buy one or both of these properties, all I need you to do is send me an email, jameswise@holtonwise.com. I'm going to want you to have your proof of funds or your pre-approval letters ready. I do not think you need to buy either of these cash. I want you to go in and use that 30-year financing. I want you to stretch your funds. You know, at the beginning of the show, I said I was going to show you how to get $2,200 a month in rent while spending only around $25K. With the second property, you got to put down $15,000. You know, with the first property, on a very conservative estimate of it appraising at $75,000, which is what you had into it, you're only going to be out of pocket $19,000. But if it appraises for higher, say it appraises for $100,000, you're going to get a lot of that back. So worst case scenario, I think you'll be about $29,000 cash into this deal. But in all actuality, you probably have the opportunity to be in to both of these combined for less than $20,000. So both great deals. Shoot me those offers via email. If you don't yet have a lender, don't worry. I've got lenders for you. I got a whole list of lenders that'll write loans for investors in all 50 states. So shoot me an email. Hey, James, shoot me your list of lenders, man. I want to move. I want to get started today. I want to grow my portfolio. I'll give you my lenders. If you don't have those lenders yet and I give you my lenders, I don't know if you'll be quick enough to take these down, because typically when I launch these videos, the properties sell the same day the video goes out or a couple days thereafter. So if you miss out on these two, that's okay. At that point, you'll be pre-approved. You'll be ready for the next one. We send videos like this out every single day. On top of that, we email them to you. So if you click the show notes below, you can subscribe to our mailing list, and we'll get a video like this out to you every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Beyond subscribing to that mailing list, one more thing I need you to do. If you liked this video, if you thought this video provided you with some value, do me a solid and smash that subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. As always, I'm James Wise with Holton Wise, and this is real estate investing made easy.
Cleveland, Ohio is widely considered to be one of the top rental markets in the entire United States. This is because here in Cleveland, our housing prices are low and our rental prices and demand are high. At Holton Wise, we provide the complete turnkey solution for all real estate investors, whether they are local, out of state, or even abroad. As real estate brokers, we will provide you with agent representation to help you buy properties ranging from single-family homes to large apartment complexes. We even have referrals for lenders who can provide investment property loans to investors located in all 50 states, allowing you to capitalize on the use of leverage or other people's money. We have referrals to top-notch title companies so you know that all of your transactions are safe and secure, with every single property being delivered to you with clear title. Once you close on the property, we have an investor-focused insurance brokerage who can handle all your property insurance needs. This insurance brokerage handles auto, home, life, and business policies, but they specialize in working with policies for landlords. We also have full-service property management. We can handle all rental property advertisements, tenant placement, rent collection, evictions, maintenance, landscaping, construction, and repairs. In addition, Holton Wise also offers digital media and education. One day, when you are ready to sell your investment, Holton Wise, as the #1 seller of investment properties in the greater Cleveland area, can market your property in a video just like this one to our worldwide base of investors who are looking to capitalize on the high cash flow opportunities in the Cleveland, Ohio market. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our latest content, including video tours and analysis of investment properties that are available for sale, real estate investment education, and our most interesting encounters with tenants from hell. Holton Wise, real estate investing made easy.